Hi everyone, it's Chelle from Chelle Crochet. Welcome to my October 2023 crochet podcast. Let's talk some finished objects and some whips, and happy Halloween everyone! Hi everyone, it's Chelle. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I'm just sneaking this in really quickly. It is October the 31st around 4:30 in the afternoon, and we are expecting a crowd of trick-or-treaters shortly. So I wanted to touch base with you all and get in some talk about my crochet makes for the month of October. I really appreciate you coming back to watch my monthly podcasts and let me know your thoughts about the things I'm able to make. Okay, so I am half costume, half not costume, getting ready to do a little something for the trick-or-treaters that come to the door. But let's go back in time to the finale of my mom's birthday sweater, back to the very beginning of the month. Here we go. Hey everyone, down to the final little bits here of the cardigan. It's all seamed up, the trim is finished on the front. One sleeve is done minus the trim, and the other sleeve is almost done. And I just wanted to show you all these stitch markers I have. They mark my increases. Sorry, they mark my decreases and also allow me to keep my rounds or rows counting within groups of 10. I just find it easier that way to keep track. And yeah, so we're almost there. I also keep the majority of the decreases underneath the sleeve where it won't show as much, and only did a couple on the very top at the beginning for the shoulder area because you're working with squares. So obviously when the squares are joined, that puts an awful square edge on the shoulder, which would be great if you wanted shoulder pads, but you don't necessarily want that for your sleeve. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Hello everyone. Today is Wednesday, October 4th, and it's my mom's birthday. So yay, the sweater is all done. I'm going to put it on a hanger and hang it in a sec, but I just wanted to give you a look at it laying out, and we will be back right in a sec. Okay, so this is the sweater on a hanger on the back of the door there. That is the back view, and I'm going to go closer for you. Let's go from the bottom. So you can see the panels, and then you can see all the extra neck work at the top, and then the sleeves. So I guess if you just see here, this is one granny square, and this is the shoulder one up here, but the flat one's there. So there's quite a bit of neck work going up the top. Okay. So here's the front. So one of the arms I have it kind of laid out and the other one's coming down straight. And the majority of what you're seeing in the center there is extra rows. So this, because it's on a hanger, it's a little harder to tell, but there is the row of grannies. When I touch the door moves. So, and you can see it's coming in and out, blowing out the color a little. And then all that center part is additional. And I hope with all the conversation from the last video and then that I had put at the beginning of today's video, that it's helpful for everybody. Okay, Granny Square Cardigan number 4 off the hook and back to our regularly scheduled programming. Okay, so as you can see, she was thrilled with the sweater. She's camera shy, so I just showed you a picture of her wearing it at her party. And yeah, that went really well. Every time I do one, whether it's a straight crochet sweater or a granny's cardigan, every time I do one, I find that there are things I think of doing differently the next time. I'm really gonna have to make some notes. But if you have any questions at all about that make, please let me know. I realized that Crystal from Bagel Day recently also talked about that Naco anti-pilling yarn, and I really do love it too. And I hope to be able to make myself something to wear at the holiday times between now and December. I keep having to adjust the camera. Anyway, I think another thing that I started fairly early on is this right here. Hey everyone, it is Monday, October the 9th. It's Thanksgiving Day here in Canada, and I am working on a little foot warmer. I have this habit of just throwing this old cat blanket I have over my feet when they get cold, and it gets way worse in the colder months. So I'm actually making like a foot sack type thing using velvet yarn. And I am just seeing if I can get my feet in here to show you. I'm just getting the base of it done. And it's very handy for on this ottoman here. You can see my sliding door is right there. So you can appreciate that it'll get a little drafty. And so I want to make sure that the bottom part was big enough that my feet would be comfortable in it. And I don't really need it to be a big blanket. I think I'm gonna work up to around here-ish. Because I have all these other blankets that I'll use and I'll just be able to throw it over the top. But I think it'll be really nice to have a little extra coziness for the toes. So anyway, all double stranded, all single crochet with an 8mm hook, because we all know that velvet yarn likes to worm, and hopefully this way it will not. And all I'm going to do, if I do want it any wider, it is a little wider than I thought, or I think I have more room. Like I didn't want to feel too confined in it, but I think it's nice, and it's a nice width so far. At a certain point, all I might do is just up my hook size and keep going in the single crochet. It is rather boring, so it's helpful to be watching alive while crocheting on it. But anyway, that's what I'm working on right now. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Good morning, friends. Today is Sunday, October the 22nd. Big guess, but I think it's an accurate guess. And I finished my little foot sack for my ottoman here in this double-stranded Bernat velvet yarn that I picked up on clearance a little bit ago. It is really soft. It's very nice to touch. And I don't think there's going to be any worming issues. Double-stranded with an 8mm hook to a point, and then I went to a 9mm hook for a bit. Then I single-stranded it, got to a place where I could do some regular double crochets to put a little bit of a post-stitch border on it just for fun. And it works perfectly. And will keep my feet nice and warm all winter long. So we got the little fireplace going, little spookiness going, and the coffee just finished. And so I will go grab some and hopefully put some more work into this friend today. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. So I did finish it. It's super heavy. It's super soft. It's just a little sack for my feet. And it's all single crochets held double with an 8mm hook, and it took a while and I had to take some breaks because of boredom. But I'm happy with it, and it's been working. It started to get a little cooler here, and I just love having a place to just tuck my feet when I am relaxing doing crochet on the couch. So basically it's just a bag tutorial, right? So any bag tutorial you like that starts with an oval bottom, that's basically what I'm doing here. And yay, I was able to use up some of that Bernat velvet yarn because I wasn't afraid. Once I got the first few rows in and I noticed how nice the stitches were staying tightly. I think single crochet is the key with this yarn. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so I think the next thing was more on my corner to corner in the round blanket, and I do think I have at least a clip or something here for you. Hey everyone, just another clip for a different project. This is my C2C in the round, and it's getting there. It's getting kind of big on the diagonal now. It's nowhere near done, don't get me wrong, but I just wanted to give you a bit of a peek at the colors. Going to zoom in a little. And basically the only rules I have for this blanket is that it started with scraps, which I want to use up entirely in this blanket as long as they'll complete an entire row. And then there's also some stash yarn, some yarns I had no real plan for. The brown is one Mary Maxim, a regular acrylic yarn I've had forever, and I just haven't known what, or hadn't had any reason to use it. But all I'm doing really is keeping my rounds to either 4s or 2s or 1s. And the exception is for the cream. Going forward, it'll only be 1 round because there's the least amount of the cream that I want to get into this blanket. Also, I'm super happy that I took out the gold. I think I mentioned I didn't like the gold I had in there, and I've added the gray. We will see, but I'm enjoying it. It's a 5.5 millimeter hook, so it's slow going. And what I did the other day, because it's starting to feel like every round takes forever, I'm starting to tell myself in my head, every round is 4 rows. Because if you're working a rectangular blanket back and forth, by going around this entire thing, it's the same thing as doing 4 rows. So anyway, that's a little update for now, and we'll see how this gets by the end of October. Today is Monday, October the 9th. Hello everyone. Just a little update on my first ever C2C in the round blanket. I love how you can get the centerpiece to look like a diamond when you do the reducing out and all of that. So the shape is still square overall. I've just started to put the border on. And I have to decide now if I'm going to leave it square or if I'm going to make it rectangular, which was my first thought. Anyway, I will see how far I get. Today is, what is today? Tuesday, October the 24th, and I will show whatever I have accomplished at the monthly video. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. So it's right here. I haven't done much more than the last clip you saw. All I've done is put 1 border row on in the tan, and I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to do rectangular, keep it in the round / square. I think I'm just going to continue in the round, which means it's going to be really long rows, or like I said, each round counts as 4 rows going forward because they are all the same size. And I've just put on the start of what would be the modern granny stitch. So chain 2 single crochet, and then the alternate rows are just 3 double crochets. And I'm gonna do chunks, I think, from here. So I just have to pick whatever color is going to be next, and it might be the dark brown because I think I have the most of that. And then when that's finished and I can't get another full row, I will put in whatever colors I have left until she's done. Super stripey. It was super fun. I really like the different effects you can get from it. And I think the person who originally told me about this was doing a baby blanket at the time, and I could totally see it as a baby blanket by not doing any reducing at all and just keeping the corner to corner type of rows you get with the stitch being offset like that would make a really pretty border too. So great fall throw, to be continued, almost done. Next time if it's done, I'll just show a picture at the end of the video. Any questions, let me know. Okay, this guy got a little makeover, so I'm going to show you what he used to look like. I also wanted to show you this for a sec. I've made this little bucket jack-o'-lantern that we usually put candy in, but he's going to get a bit of a makeover. I've been enjoying making some ghosties that are having LED flameless candles in them. So I think I'm going to make this a little taller so the candles will fit, and I think I'm going to remove the strap or put the strap on the inside. So I just grabbed some more of my pumpkin yarn that I pull out every year. That's a Caron 1 pound that's been very well loved. And that's going to be a little bit of a fix for today. Yeah, so basically I just pulled back the top rows like I said in the video, and I cinched him in a little bit. I put on a little bit of black at the top as well, redid the face a little bit with some open stitching, and I put a eyelet row in here so that there's a drawstring, I can pull it tight. And then just recently I decided to add the strap back on, so he's like a real jack-o'-lantern because he's not a pumpkin, he's a lantern. Anyway, I'm not so sure you can tell, but there are a couple candles on the inside right now, and if it gets any darker in this room by the time I'm done, I'll show you guys him again. Yeah, so it'll be fun to put him out on the porch for the kitties. Actually, there's yarn in there too. I put a big cake of yarn in there to weigh him down. Okay, so then I think one of the next things that I did was Jaden Stitches Make from one of the lives, and she did a plush ghostie using Bernat blanket yarn, and I didn't have any in a white or an appropriate ghost color, so I just did double-stranded a white with a white sparkle, and still used the 8mm hook, safety eyes for the eyes, and a little quick embroidered grin there. And I left him open. I didn't stuff him and I didn't close the bottom. There is a tiny bit of stuffing just in the head to keep his shape. And this was my plan for him because we have a bunch of LED candles. I prefer to use those than regular candles these days. So yeah, so I'm just gonna stick him outside and he will be also part of our Halloween decor outdoors. So you can tell a little bit on the camera that it's flickering, but basically they glow, right? And so because I liked how he turned out, I also made a couple small ones. I think one of them's beside me over there, and here's the other one. So this is, I believe it's a free pattern on the website, Jade & Stitch's website. And this was the original ghost. And then she did the double-stranded version, or in her case, it was blanket yarn, live on, I'm trying to put him somewhere where he shows, there we go, live on one of her Monday lives. So I made 2 of these. Just did a little something different for the face. One of them, I think I used noses as the eyes to make them more oval. And just a really quick embroidered mouth. And yeah, they sit usually on my shelf with some of my other Halloween decorations. And they just sit right on top of the LED tea light. Yeah. Okay, so I did end up making one more pumpkin. I had showed you in this one last time, and I talked about the yarn that I used for it. My mom had gifted it to me because she saw it at Michael's, and she thought it went really nicely with this yarn bowl, which I got such a kick out of. Anyway, I never used it until I started to work with that pumpkin yarn, the pumpkin colored yarn, and the I wanted to hold double to give it some texture. So there was about probably 2/3 of well, they came in hanks. They were it was meandering serpentine or something like that, old loops and threads hanks that were clearanced out ages ago now. I got them as a Christmas gift even before they were clearanced out. Anyway, so I had one full one and one probably 2/3, and I got this little corner to corner scarf, and I did corner to corner V-stitches. And I'm pretty sure it was Mikey that I saw do these like tutorials, stitch tutorials basically, for different ways of doing corner to corner. And I like the idea of it quite a bit for this idea, because I have not blocked it yet, and I am going to block this one just to open up the stitches a little bit, because it's acrylic, so it should really hold its shape. And this is just a little neck scarf to go under a new jacket I got. It has some light colors in it, and it's very creamy colored, the jacket. And even though I'm already wearing my poncho, I'll show it to you on. Just enough for a nice little triangle scarf for the fall. And for this one, I used a 6mm hook. Any questions, let me know. And I continued on a little bit of a neck kick. I had some of this Patons Canadiana sitting around, thinking I might make a hat or a hat and scarf set. And instead I made one of those boomerang style V-neck scarves. So basically, I didn't look up any pattern. Bad shell, I probably should have, just so that I could get a refresh on what I was doing. But I just started with 1 stitch, and I did increases on one side only. So for 20 rows, I increased every single row, and I kept the other side normal. And I just used a red stitch marker on the side that I wasn't increasing on. And then after the 20th row, I started skipping rows, and every other row I was increasing until I got to the point area. And then I just had to decrease back down. And I think I got it almost spot on. I might have been off by a row or 2, but considering it starts at 1 stitch, you can't really tell. So I'll put this one on for you. Okay, so this one's much more like a scarf because you have both ends, but it gives you lots of options of how you want to wear it. And also, if you just want to throw it over your shoulders, you could still do that because you have so much length on both ends. And it's just a modest point in the middle, but you can do whatever you want with these patterns. I think there's knit versions too. I think that's the picture I saw that I stumbled onto it. You don't have to be so perfect about it. You can have it however you want it to be. The knit version is what the picture of it that I liked, because I'm like, oh, narrow at the very ends to a point and flat on the top. So that's what I went for on this one. And again, no tutorial, I just decided to wing it, and I really liked the yarn. It's nice short changes. You get a little bit of pooling, but nothing too crazy. It's always going to look more on camera like pooling, but in real life, it just kind of looks like one of those leopard prints or animal prints, which I do like. I don't mind it at all. And there wasn't any big substantial difference from one side to the other. Always when you add another skein of this in, you take a chance that your variegated pattern is going to change, right? And they're always going to change a bit, but it's hard to match them up. Anyway, I noticed that I had this from Lens Mills on clearance ages ago, but there were 2 dye lots. And because there were 2 dye lots, I had separated it out so that I could see which ones were which. And I think this one I had less of, so I used it up first. And there'll probably be some of this in my variegated granny project as well. Anyway, it was just fun, another easy make. And because you go you increase all the way to the middle and then you get to go back down, it feels like you're making progress. So that's nice when you've had a big project on the go to have something like that. And then one more neck type thing that isn't quite done yet. I just started this recently. And basically I just made a half double crochet cowl using one skein of Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Metal-y in a light gray, and then one of just Premier Anti-Pilling in a variegated color that I found at the dollar store in Canada probably 2 summers ago. So I don't think the color really matters at this point, but it's a very beachy color with blues and grays and cream and brown. And so this is done except for trim. I left it open a bit on the bottom just to make sure that you know, when it goes inside your coat, it doesn't like pop up on you, but you have that nice cowl effect. I'll put this on for you in a sec. I'm gonna trim it with fur, so you can't see it anymore. It's sitting in my yarn bowl. That's the next step. And I'll pop it on for you. Okay, so you can see how stiff it is. It hasn't been in the dryer yet, so it literally would hold up like that. But because I have this slit, it's gonna go nicely under the coat. And also I wanted the kind where you could just go like that and you fold it down and it's nice and cozy, right? And once it's in the dryer, the fabric will loosen up. It's nice and thick. The 2 strands with the 7mm hook this time, and I'll half doubles. And I mean, in a pinch, you could hood it up and be a little bit warm that way too if you needed it. Anyway, you get the idea. I will put the fur on it and then I will take a picture and show you the final one next video, but I won't be talking about it again. If you have any questions, let me know. Oh, and before I forget, you can see this, it's all sparkly yarn, which is actually showing up on camera. This started off as a shawl kit from Mary Maxim. That's where the yarn came from. And in the shawl kit, there was regular black, there was the green and the pumpkin color, and then the sparkle black. Then I added teal and purple on my own because I wanted, oh, wasn't that cool? It looked like the spider crawled. In real life, I am not a spider fan, but on Halloween, I'm a spider fan, and I called them Samantha's. Anyway, I added the teal and the purple in there just because they're more my colors, and I do wear this every year at this time of year during the fall and Halloween-ish time. And so for the kitties later, I'll probably just add like a witch's hat and intensify my makeup a bit more, and that's it, just to hand out candy. It's great. I'm so happy I did it. Spook Your Spring Mal with Carrie Penny, her first one, and I think the spring of, I think she's done 3 now, so do the math, 2021 maybe? Anyway, yeah, okay, so the only other thing, we're all littles, and one of the littles is a gift, and so quite a bit of time went into it because there were several items that were part of the gift, and I'm not going to show it till next month so that it will have been delivered. But Jada has been doing a bunch of cotton projects, so that kind of inspired me to do some as well. She was redoing one of her motifs she has that you can make look like a sunflower or a poinsettia, and I had a little bit of brown yarn left that I wanted to make sure got into this before I used it all up. So this one has a certain kind of yarn in the center that I'll talk about in a second, and they both have Bernat Handicrafter in gold in the deluxe form, so those are not around much at all. They look like little half cakes, and I found some that's been right myself in a certain cayenne red color, but this gold Priscilla gave me in our swap, so I have it left and I'm happy to use it for fall inspired crochet. And then this one is double stranded. Jada was recently showing the extended double crochet stitch, and so I was playing around with using some of those for the petals up here for this one, just to play around with the stitches, so it still looks really nice. And this one has 2 different browns in the center, regular brown cotton and this other yarn that I'm going to talk about in a second. And then also a poppy. I had made some poppy stuff a while back that's been well used for that season. We have Remembrance Day here in Canada on November the 11th, and so I made this. So double stranded, double black, black to red, which is probably the cayenne red, and then the double red. So real red and then this cayenne red, which when you put them together, you can really see that it's not red, the cayenne one, but that one's gone now. I used it all up. So happy to have this hot pad style to go with the rest of the stuff we have to put out for Remembrance Day. And the yarn, where did I put it? So this is the yarn, the brown yarn that looked a little different. It has texture. It's a ribbon yarn. It's still cotton and it's old. Mary Maxim used to sell it and it has been gone for years. And I just have had a love-hate relationship with this yarn. Now that I know I can't get any more, I'm disappointed because I find it easier to crochet with it for double-stranded projects than holding a separate scrubby yarn with cotton. And here's how I know. So I made all these scrubbies. They're the exact same pattern. So quickly just to see the colors. And it's all scraps. Different scrap yarns. Sometimes it's more than one cotton. Usually the scrubby yarn was the same throughout. But if I had a time to scrap, I used it up. That was the whole point. I meant to bring this project bag. It actually was a gift from Debbie last year. I knitted one that was full of cotton scraps that's now empty because of these projects. So I love the texture when it's those two yarns together. And it's easier on my hands than the other kind. So I pulled apart my Bernat Scrub Off yarn that has a really nice soft cotton in it, thick kitchen weight cotton, and then a scrubby line of cotton in it. It's in here. I can't really reach. I don't want to knock everything down. Anyway, so that was another way to make scrubbies, but the yarn isn't as nice. It really holds onto each other a lot. And the other thing about it in the skein is you get these long stretches of cotton and then these long stretches of scrubby, and the scrubby is way thinner than the cotton. So I don't really like it like that on its own. Now, if you just held two of them together, you just end up with parts that are all scrubby and all cotton. But again, it was worth it to me. These were ends of skeins and I got a lot of it on clearance a while back. So I just pulled them apart, made individual balls of either cotton or scrubby and started to do projects. So I have that one made with those two yarns and then just a little cloth to go with. And then it gives options in terms of it's still fairly long changes before it's gonna basically make me tie in more yarn. So it's not so bad, but I'm really concentrating on using up cotton that's started as much as I can. And I'm really trying to see all the yarn that's been used in my yarn room this year and get ready for the big reorg in January to refresh all the spots and make sure everything's where I can see it most effectively. Hey guys, just popping in with one more clip because I forgot something. I'm editing and I'm realizing I forgot that I actually made sleeves for my new fall jacket. I extended the sleeves because I found that they were kind of too short for me and I wanted nice cozy sleeves. So I just made these two rectangular pieces of fabric and then seamed them up and sewed them on. And they work great and I can fold them if I want to. And what did I do in this? Oh, I think I just did lemon peel stitch. So I started out with some regular half double crochets and then I did some lemon peel and then I did some double crochets with post stitches and a single crochet to finish her off. And this is the jacket I was talking about that I'm also wanting that. Oh, wait a second, it's right here. The little neck scarf for. So I did forget about that and I had to show you guys. Okay, I think that's about it for this video. Hopefully I can still get it posted tonight. I don't know if it's any easier to see than it was at the beginning. What I'll do is I'll try to take some pictures tonight when it's dark and add them into the video. And we'll see, hopefully the video can still come out tonight. We'll see how long it takes to process. I'm trying to think what other things I have on the go. Really, I would consider the blanket is still a whip. And then that one cowl is a whip. Oh yeah, and then I have my Granny Square variegated project and then the Mile a Minute. Neither one of those got much love at all in November. I don't know if I did any of the Mile a Minute at all. I thought I might have made one or two more of the Granny Squares. And I think that was it. Things tend to walk out the door sometimes and then I forget about them. So we'll see. Anyway, so yeah, had to kind of breeze through this one as quick as possible because it's getting late and we are expecting the kids of the neighborhood to come by. I hope you guys have all been having a great October. November's here. We'll see what that brings. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today. Have a great day and happy crochet. Bye.